Premanande, Jai Gaur Premanande, Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Nirvika Giridhari Radha Lalit Madhav Ji ki Jai, Radha Raman Bihari Radha Vinod Bihari Radha Nayan Bihari Ji ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ji ki Jai, Radha Damodara Dashyama Sundara Gokulananda Radha Raman Ji ki Jai, कृष्ण बलराम महाराज की जय। नित पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परिव्राज कचर्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति जीवन जनार्दन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् गौर गोविंद महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् भक्ति कामल गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति राक्षसीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। परम भागवत शिल गौर किशोर दास जी महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सच्चिदानंद शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास जी महाराज की जय। श्री गौरी वेदांत आचार्य शिल बलदेव विद्याभूषण प्रभु की जय। शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती पाद की जय। शिल नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभुत्राय की जय। शिल कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ श्री गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। स्वरूप दामोदर रामानंद जी श्री गौर परिषद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। नवदीप मंडल की जय। व्रज मंडल की जय। क्षेत्र मंडल की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री कृष्ण पुष्य अभिषेक की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि वो। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। आनन्दलीलमय विग्रहाय मबधिविचविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कल्मषनाशाय जन्मपतये नमः। अजनुलम्बितभुजो कनकवदातो संकीर्तनायकपितरो कमलायताक्ष विश्वम्भरो द्विजोरो जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणवतारो। अद्वैत प्रकृतिकृता नरहरिप्रेष्ठस्वरूप प्रिय नित्यानंद सखा सनातन गति श्रीरूपहृतकेतन लक्ष्मी प्राणपति गदाधर रसोल्लास्य जगन्नाथ भो संगपंग सपर्षद सदयितं देवा सचिनंदनः। सौंदर्ये कामकोटि सकलशन समाह्लादने चन्द्रकोटिर्वत्सल्यमत्र कोटिस्त्रिदशवितपिनं कोटिरौदर्यसारे गम्भीर्यं बोधिकोटिर्मधुरिमधुसुधाक्षीरमद्विककोटिर् गौरदेव सजीयत् प्रणयरसपदे दर्शितश्चर्यकोटिम्। कलाकलिर्बलिनेन्द्रियवैरिवर्ग श्रीभक्तिमार्गैः कन्तककोटिरुद्ध हा हा क्वयामि विकला किमहं करोमि चैतन्यचन्द्रदिनादिकृपं करोषि। चैतन्यचन्द्र मम हृत्कुमतं विकाश हृदयं विदेहि निजचिन्तनं पिङ्गराङ्गै किञ्चापराधतिमिरां निबिधं विदूय पादमृतं सदयपाय दुर्गतं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Look very good once again. Hare Krishna कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So first of all, my unlimited Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Nitila Preshtam Vishnupada Stotra Sata Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Shiksha Gurudeva Som Vishnupada Stotra Sata Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj Shrimati Krishna Priyata Kurani. All Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. Also the author of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, who will be hearing today, Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. Also all the Vaishnavas and guests in London, Camden Town, the land of Sankirtan. And as it became quite clear these days, and all the electronic viewers, both online and later in recording, Hare Krishna Dandavat. So we're very happy today again. We went to Nagara Sankirtana, second day in a row. All glories to Camden Town, land of Sankirtan. Okay, so Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu came and he gave Prema Nama. Prema Nama. So he garlanded all the world with the Nama, with the holy name, and inside there is Prema as a thread, pure love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So your name is again Ra? Yeah. You know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who that is? You know? A little bit. Okay, you have. Okay, very good. Very good. It's your Gaura Bhakta. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the beginning, was not called Mahaprabhu, Nobody was calling him Mahaprabhu when he was in Navadvip. Everybody was calling him Nimai, Gauranga. Gaura means golden, and Anga means parts of the body. So Nimai, he was born under the neem tree. So he was actually called Vishwambar by Nilambar Chakravarti, the father of Shachimata, astrologer. Vishwambar means supporting all the earth, all the jivas. Our Gurudev used to tell at initiation, when he was explaining Gaura Mantra, those who have Diksha, they have Gaura Mantra, Gaura Gayatri. So he was explaining what Vishwambar means. He was saying, one who supports all the universe with all the tattvas, all the Hare Krishna, all the knowledge of revealed truths. All the tattva means all the established truths. Guru tattva, Vaishnava tattva, Jiva tattva, Bhakti tattva, Radha tattva, Krishna tattva, Prema tattva, everything. So he's our initial teacher, our initial guru. Srila Gurudev used to say, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our initial guru. Very, very unique personality, because simultaneously God himself and Jagat Guru means he is teaching. So, Prema Rasa Niryas Karitya Swadan Raga Marga Marga Bhakti Loki Karite Pracharan. Rasika Shekara Krishna Paramakarun Eidu Hetu Hoite Ichara Uddam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came for those two main reasons. There are four actually. It's a long story, but two main reasons. Prema Rasa Niryas Karitya Swadam. To taste the depth, Niryas means essence, of Prema Rasa. Prema Rasa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought that Prema Rasa actually. Before him, Bhakti Rasa. People were speaking about Bhakti, a little bit about Rasa, but what is Bhakti Rasa? Nobody could really comprehend. So he brought that, and through Shri Rupa and Sanatana, Raghunath Das Goswami, he explained to all the world what Bhakti Rasa means. It is a very, very chamatkar means astonishing, yes. Taste of love of God, very, very astonishing. In each and every type of relationship. Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. And these four rasas, Mahaprabhu said, I will make all the world dance in ecstasy. So that's what he did. But first of all, he wanted to experience himself. So Prema Rasa Niryas Karite. Aswadan means to taste. And the second reason for us, so first reason for himself, he is relishing, he is shedding tears. And those tears are, how to say, making everyone wet, all around, yes, all the world, like from syringe. So he is giving that path to others also. Raga, Marga, Bhakti, Loki. Loki means for the people. Loki means for the people. Korite Pracharan. So he was Pracharan, he was preaching the path of spontaneous devotion. Raga, Marga, spontaneous devotion. How can you go to Golok Vrindavan? Only through spontaneous devotion. You cannot go by rules and regulations. By rules and regulations, you could go to Vaikuntha mostly, that region, you know. Om Namo Narayanaya, that region, yes. But to Vraja, to the sweet abode of Shri Radha and Krishna, you have to go through Ragamarg, the path of spontaneous attraction, spontaneous devotion. So Ragamarga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. He was teaching that path of spontaneous devotion to all the people. So that is the second reason. We can say like roughly internal, external, but there's a long, long story. So in the beginning, nobody knew he's Jagat Guru. Nobody was calling him, therefore, Mahaprabhu. Nobody was calling him. Later, when he took sannyas, he became known as Mahaprabhu, means Supreme Personality. Everybody knew his devotees, starting from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who recognized that, one of the first. So others were knowing him as the Supreme Lord in the form of a devotee. But in Mayapur, Navadvip, sweet pastimes. Yogamaya Shakti, his internal potency was hiding his real position as Supreme Lord. Only sometimes, as if in the boiling milk there is some little straw. So when the milk is boiling 100 degrees, then the straw coming up and down, usually unseen, but sometimes seen on the surface. So that Aishwarya, his godhoodness, was sometimes seen, but for not so many devotees. He was revealing Mahaprakash, the great revelation we will be discussing these days in Watford also, all those pastimes, how he was. But before, he was completely hiding. Nobody could even understand that he is a devotee, you know. He was positioning himself as a great Pandit, a great, great knower of scriptures, great logician, great learned person. He was also very haughty, you know. He was able to challenge anyone in the street. You know, that same Gadadhara Pandit used to cross the street and go the other direction when Gauranga was approaching. So he was challenging everyone. He was able to establish a point and then refuting it, establish a completely contradictory point. Both are in him, you know. That is black, no, that is actually white, because black is actually white and white is actually black. But no, actually white is white and black is black always. But on the other hand, you know, it can be black and white, white and black, you know, like this. So anything he could establish. But then finally he manifested as a devotee. So those astonishing pastimes we'll be hearing today. We were discussing for 2 days Guru Tattva, the principle of Sri Guru. But even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, took shelter of Guru, took shelter of Sri Guru. That was in Gaya, when he went to Gaya on a pilgrimage. Then he met Sri Isvara Puri, his Gurudev. So Gurudev used to stress, even Krishna took Guru, you know. So Bhaguri Rishi was his Guru in Vraj, and Sandipani Muni was his Guru in Ujjain. Him and Balaram were studying under Sandipani Muni for 64 days, and they learned 64 sciences, 64 skills, yes. To understand the language of birds, for example. Many. How to dance, how to everything. You know, how to make riddles, how to, many skills you can read. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know, in the form of a devotee, first of all, he met his Gurudev. After he received the mantra from Sri Gurudev, he became mad with prema, pagal, mad with prema. So we hear these astonishing pastimes today. So Gaya is a place where people in India popularly go for performing pinda, for performing Shraddha for the departed father. Putra, put means so one who saves from hell. So Putra is a son who saves father from hell. So that's why they go to Gaya and they perform those Shraddha ceremonies for their parents, especially son for the father. So the father of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Jagannatha Mishra, just left, and Mahaprabhu, playing the pastimes of ordinary human being, human-like pastimes, Naravat Lila, he went to Gaya, and he performed the ceremony of Shraddha for his father. But let us hear how it was. First of all, when he was going to Gaya, so the Lord desired to manifest himself. Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavata is writing the biography of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very, very sweet biography. The Lord has desired to manifest himself, but he thought he should first visit Gaya. Supremely independent Lord Gaurasundar desired to see the holy place of Gaya. The Lord first took permission from Mother Shachi, his mother, and then happily left to see Gaya. As the Lord passed through the various towns and villages on the way to Gaya, they were all turned into holy places by the touch of his lotus feet. So I want to say, even though he was hiding in the beginning, in the first stage, sometimes devotion was showing up spontaneously. For example, I mentioned his Gurudeva was Isvara Puri. Isvara Puri, great devotee, disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri. But even before Gauranga manifested himself as devotee, Isvara Puri came to Navadvip. He came to Navadvip. Actually, that was by Yogamaya's arrangement, because he had first darshan of Nimai. And he was so much attracted to Nimai. Such a wonderful youth. He couldn't look anywhere else. He was so much mesmerized by Nimai. Ideal complexion, shining as molten gold, long, beautiful curly hair, and positioning as a logician. But Ishvara Puripat was interested only in pure devotion. That's why, technically, he was not approaching Nimai directly at once. So he went to the house of Sri Chandrasekhar. I think that was... Oh, no, not Chandrasekhar. The house of the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma. What's his name? Yes, son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Anyway, he was staying in his house, and Gopinath Acharya, I think, no? Gopinath Acharya, yes, in Gopinath Acharya's house. He was staying in Gopinath Acharya's house, and he was attracted by Gadadhar Pandit. Ishvara Puripad was attracted by Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit is very, very exalted personality. That is actually Shrimati Radha Thakurani in Gaura Lila. Radha Thakurani, Gadadhar Pandit. So he was staying in Gopinath Acharya's house, and he was writing a book called Sri Krishna Kathamrita. And he was writing, and he was reading immediately to Gadadhar. He was teaching Gadadhar about Krishna. So, but first, actually, when he came to Navadvip, Ishvara Puripad came to Navadvip, he was attracted by Nimai, and Nimai, actually, what I forgot to mention, invited him to his house. So Ishvara Puripad visited his house, and Mother Shachi gave him prasad, because she was worshipping Shalagram and so many devotional arrangements. So he came there, and they were discussing with Nimai about Krishna. Although he was a logician, he was discussing about Krishna. Yes. So then Nimai Pandit was very much attracted to Isvara Puripad spontaneously. Therefore, he was also coming to the house of Gopinath Acharya every day to hear Sri Krishna Kathamrita. Yes. So once Isvara Puripad has written something, another part, and when Nimai came, he said, "Oh, can you please see my manuscript and just edit it, see if there are any mistakes." So then Nimai Pandit, so that Krishna consciousness was, the devotion was breaking through anyway, in some cases. So Nimai said that, oh, in the writings of a devotee, a pure devotee like yourself, there can be no mistakes. There can be no mistakes. They're all perfect. So who am I, dry logician? How can I check your writings? So he was very, very humbly refusing, like this. So Isvara Puripad stayed in the house of Gopinath Acharya for some time, wrote his book, read it to Gadadhar Pandit, and departed for Gaya. So actually, by Yogamaya's arrangement, he was waiting for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. And then the Lord of Vaikuntha, who was exhibiting himself like an ordinary person, finally came to Gaya. But on the way, actually, he was surrounded by his students, his logical students. So they were surrounding him, and all of a sudden he fell sick. He fell sick, he had some cold, and he was feeling very bad. So all the students were filled with anxiety. What to do? What to do? They started to look for some cure, various remedies they were discussing, but the Lord told him, Tabe Prabhu Vyasatila Aushada Apani Sarva Dukkha Khandi Vipra Padodaka Pani. Mahaprabhu said, still not Mahaprabhu, Gauranga said, if I drink the water that has washed the feet of a Brahmana, my suffering will be relieved. So he wanted to drink that water, which has washed the feet of a Brahmana. So Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is writing here in the commentary that in modern day there are so many so-called Brahmanas, but Mahaprabhu was respecting Brahmanas. The highest esteem he was giving to Brahmanas everywhere. He was staying only in the houses of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And the author of the commentaries here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, were remembering in his biography, he saw a lot, a few days in front of caste Brahmanas, and he proved that a Vaishnava is naturally a Brahmana. A Vaishnava has all Brahminical qualities. So that's why the lotus foot water from the real Brahmanas, who were definitely Vaishnavas, only would satisfy the Lord. And as soon as the Lord drank the water, he never exhibited any symptoms of disease. The disease fully subsided. So, Ishvare kare vipra padodakapana eta nata svabhava veda purana pramana. According to Vedas and Puranas, it's the nature of Supreme Lord to drink the water that has washed the feet of a Brahmana. Nature of the Supreme Lord. Imagine. He drinks the water from the feet of his devotees. Very interesting remark in this regard, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is giving, that Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Yayathamam prapadyate tam statoyam bhajamyaham vatman vartante Yayathamam prapadyante sam statoyam bhajamyaham. In the way somebody worships me, I reward them accordingly. So if somebody worships the Lord very ardently, then the Lord rewards him with the same. Means he washes his feet. Means he worships his feet. Okay, you still have my kautas. Very good. Thank you. Good. Very, very good. Yes, Megan is so much in love with kirtan. Still has the kautas, right? So yeah. So therefore, the Lord wanted to wash the feet of his devotees so much. We heard yesterday, some of you were here, you were here, you. So we heard how Shabari was waiting for Lord Ramachandra to come ardently for many, many years. Actually, I forgot to mention yesterday, she was 90 years of age when Ramachandra came. She was 90. So, but she, in a great, great enthusiasm, like not 90, but 19-year-old girl, rushed to collect some berries. And she wanted to taste if those berries were suitable, so she chewed them a little, you know. So then Lord Ramachandra took her Mahaprasad as Adharamrita. You know Adharamrita, nectar of lotus leaves. Yes. Mahaprabhu, I'm sorry, Ramachandra was enjoying that. He was really, really enjoying. Even Lakshman became disturbed, but Ramachandra nevertheless was so, so happy, you know. So, and many cases say Krishna loves his devotees so much that he wants to be defeated by them. Krishna wants to be defeated by his devotees. What is Damodara Lila? You know Damodara Lila? When Yashoda bound Krishna. So Krishna really, really, really wanted to be bound by Yashoda, and he became Yashoda Damodar. And Krishna really, really, really wants to be bound by the gopis, and he becomes Radha Damodar. In the place called Gantoli, Ganta means knot. Radha and Krishna's veil and Krishna's pitambara are bound, yellow and blue. So that is Yashoda, Radha Damodar. So therefore Krishna wants to be, rather than the object of the service, he wants to be a servant. So that's why in Seva Kunj he becomes a servant of Srimati Radhika. That's the highest manifestation. You know, the heart of Vrindavan, Seva Kunj. Why Seva? Because Krishna becomes a Sevak. All the world wants to serve Srimati Radhika's lotus feet, starting from Krishna himself. Krishna himself is most eager to do that. So the Lord therefore desires to be the servant of anyone who always desires to be a servant of the Lord. Yatahana dasya pada bhavinirantara tahana avashya dasya karina Isvara. And although Isvara Puri could understand that that is the Supreme Lord, Yogamaya was hiding it, but anyway, in the heart he was understanding. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want him to understand. He accepted him as Guru. You know, you are my Gurudev, life after life, life after life. It's finished. Yeah, no. Okay. So, okay, it's just not charged properly. So, oh yeah, no problem. It's all not fit today. So, one moment. Let's go. Okay. So Mahaprabhu was going to Gaya with all of his students. And Ateva Namatana Sevaka Vatsala Apane Hariya Badayena Bhritya Bala. The Lord is therefore known as Sevaka Vatsala, or one. He who is favorably inclined to his servants, he accepts defeat in order to increase his devotees' glories. He accepts defeat because he wants to glorify his devotees. So he wants to be the loser, doesn't want to be the winner. He wants his devotees to win over him. So, Sarvatarashakayana Prabhuracharana Bala Deki Ke Mate Charibe Bhaktagan. The devotees have only the Lord as their protector. Therefore, how can they give up his lotus feet? Cannot give up. So after being cured from his disease, the Lord happily proceeded towards Gaya with his associates. So he entered Gaya, the place for the ablutions for forefathers. He entered Gaya, the king of all holy places. So the etymology of the name Gaya comes from Gayasura. There was one demon, Gayasura. And that Gayasura was performing austerities. He wanted all of his associates, demons, to be liberated, liberated. It's the highest, actually, goal for demons. One of the highest goals. Some wants to control the whole world, and some wants liberation, So actually, impersonalists are demons because they want to be liberated. Impersonal liberation. So, therefore, he said, "Oh Lord, please satisfy me. Please make everyone who sees me liberated at once." So the Lord didn't like it, because all the demoniac associates of Gayasura then could have been liberated. And people started being liberated very rapidly. So the Lord didn't like it, and he stamped his foot over the head of Gaia and stamped him under the earth, so that nobody could see him. So it's said that Gayasura became purified totally by that touch. And he gave up his demoniac nature, finally. So, but the place where the Lord stamped his feet was that very place from which the ecstatic manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually started. So he saw those lotus feet, but what exactly happened when he saw his lotus feet we'll be hearing tomorrow in Watford. It's advertisement for tomorrow's for Watford programs. We'll be hearing a lot of Mahaprabhu, Leela in Watford. But today we'll hear about how Mahaprabhu met his Gurudev, Isvara Puri. So Mahaprabhu visited, he was still not yet Mahaprabhu. Gauranga visited many places, Brahmakunda, took his bath, and then liberated his forefathers at once. Many places mentioned here. So then all the place was filled with Brahmanas again, real Brahmanas. Who is a Brahmana? One who knows Brahma, one who knows the absolute truth. That is really Brahman. Not one who says that, oh, I'm a hereditary Brahman and just collects donation for his sense enjoyment. No. So the Brahmanas appeared like divine beings as they described the glories of the Lord's lotus feet. So he saw the Lord's lotus feet there at Gaya, the lotus feet of Vishnu, and then the Brahmanas seemed to the Lord as divine beings. So he was filled with divine emotion, and the Lord started speaking. Kashinata hridaya dharila ye charana niravadi lakshmi rajivana. Lord Shiva accepted these same lotus feet in his heart, and these same lotus feet are constantly served by Lakshmi. Bole shirya avirbhav haila ye charana seye deka yata bhagyavan jana. These lotus feet were placed on the head of Bali Maharaj. O fortunate souls, now see those same lotus feet there. Have you heard? Bali Maharaj and Vamanadev. The Lord, dwarf incarnation. No, the boar was Varahadev, yes. So Vamana is the dwarf Brahmana, and Bali Maharaj, was cheated by him. So he covered all the universe, all earth, and then all the universe with the first and second steps, and the third step had to put on the head of Bali. So those same feet which touched Bali's head. So one who meditates on these lotus feet for even a moment never comes under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. Krishna has 19 marks on his lotus feet, 19 marks, such as elephant goad, lotus flower, many. So each and every sign has a lot of meanings. So one who meditates on those feet will never return to this material world. So these lotus feet are rarely attained by even the best of yogis or fortunate souls. Now see those same lotus feet here. The Ganges emanated from these lotus feet, and the servants of the Lord constantly keep these lotus feet in their hearts. Those lotus feet are most enchanting on the bed of Ananta. O fortunate souls, now see those same lotus feet. Oh, actually, the Brahmanas were singing this. I'm sorry, they were singing. So, hearing the glories of the Lord's lotus feet from the Brahmanas, the Lord became absorbed in ecstatic love. So that was the very first moment. And he will explain explicitly. Tomorrow we'll hear what was really going on in his heart when he heard those glorifications of the lotus feet of Krishna. Those same lotus feet were adored by the gopis when Krishna was alone with Srimati Radhika in Sringarvat in Vrindavan. Then the gopis were seeing the marks of the lotus feet of Krishna, having all those characteristic features. And then they noticed, then there was the marks of certain gopi next to Krishna. And then Krishna's footprints became deeper in the sand. He was stepping deeper in the sand, and the footsteps of the gopi disappeared. So they could conclude that Krishna was carrying her at that moment. And then finally, Krishna disappeared from the eyesight of Srimati Radhika. She started thinking she was most fortunate gopi in all the worlds. So she said that I'm so tired I cannot go. Oh, sit on my shoulders, Krishna said. And when she was prepared to sit on his shoulders, Krishna disappeared and she was unconscious. She was completely unconscious. So then the gopis discovered her. And then they went to the bank of Yamuna, that same bank we visit during Kartik Parikrama, and they started to sing Gopi Gita. So those same lotus feet, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that Krishna Chandra who is in the mood of Radhika. And actually, he saw those lotus feet. Why I mentioned the gopis in Vrindavana Lila? Because he saw those lotus feet from the point of view of Radhika from Vrindavan, first of all. Although those were lotus feet of Vishnu, and wherever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, he saw Krishna, Whether that was the temple of Nrisimhadev, Nrisimhadev is Krishna. Matirna Krishna Parato Svatova, Prahlad Maharaj says. Also, he saw Jagannath in Puri, big eyes. They saw him as four-handed form, like Dwaraka, the Puri Vasis, But Mahaprabhu, no. He saw Krishna Chandra with the flute. Jaya Jaya Jagannath, Kamalanayan, lotus-eyed. In the way Radhika and the gopis see him. So, therefore Mahaprabhu changed the whole mood of Ratha Yatra. The gopis are returning Krishna to Vrindavan on the Ratha, on the chariot of their minds. That's the whole meaning. So anyway, Mahaprabhu, Gauranga saw those lotus feet for the first time. As the Lord looked at those lotus feet, tears flowed from his lotus eyes. His hair stood on end, and he began shivering. Lord Gaurachandra then began to manifest ecstatic devotional service. Here we go, the breakthrough. So the nectar starts flowing. It will never stop. It will never stop. It will flow, overflow all the universe now. It started at that moment. It did start at that very moment. He became a madman. And at that moment, his guru manifested. Isvara Puri manifested at that spot, at that time. You see the parallel, how it happens. When a disciple, an aspiring disciple, a devotee, understands that he cannot achieve anything by his own endeavors. He understands that he's fully lost, or some type of ecstasy manifests in the heart. Ecstasy means very, very deep feeling of deep desire to surrender to the Lord. Then Sri Guru comes. But here in the Lord's case, in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's case,
it's a bit different because he is the Lord. So he is understanding that his mood of devotion has to manifest, and he's starting feeling that devotion towards Krishna in the mood of Radhika, and then Guru comes immediately. So that is a bit different situation. But anyway, the pattern, you understand. When the ecstatic emotion becomes manifesting, you know? So a conditioned soul is ready to surrender, then Guru comes. In the case of the Lord, it's a bit different. Like emotion becomes very thick, then Sri Guru manifests. So Lord Gaurachandra then began to manifest ecstatic devotional service for the benefit of the entire world. The Brahmanas were all startled to see the tears flow from the Lord's eyes like the unbroken flow of the Ganges. Here you go, the syringes start manifesting. All the Brahmanas became wet. It was manifesting all those ecstasies. But the divine will of the Supreme Lord at that moment, Sri Isvara Puri arrived at that place. Daiva Yogi Isvara Puri, O se kshane, ailena Ishvara ichaya se stan. Divine providence, yoga. What's that? Daiva Yogi. Daiva Yogi. Yoga means Yoga Maya. By the will of the providence, by Yoga Maya. Who is Ichha Shakti, who is fulfilling the desire of Krishna, immediately Sri Guru manifested. Ishvara Puri Redeki Sri Gaura Sundar Namaskar Lena Ati Kariyat Adar. On seeing Sri Ishvara Puri, Sri Gaura Sundar respectfully offered him dandavats, obeisances. Ishvara Puri was also delighted to see Gaura Sundar, and he happily embraced him. In the ecstasy of meeting each other, they both became soaked with tears of love. Here, the perfection is starting to manifest. It's all starting. Can you feel? It's all starting. It will be continuing. Prabhu Bali Gaya Yatra Sapala Yamar Yatra Yatakshane Dekilan Charana Tamar. The Lord said, my journey to Gaya has become successful the moment I was able to see your lotus feet. Now my journey has become successful. I've seen your lotus feet. You know, there's one verse. What's that? Yasyatma buddhi kuna petri dhatuke swadhi kalatradi shubhoma ijjadi yatirtha buddhi salinena karhichich daneshva bigeshu sa eva gokara. In Bhagavatam there is one verse. You know, there are people, masses of people, who worship holy places, circumambulate, doing parikrama, doing different ablutions, different rituals, you know. But they neglect one very, very essential thing, which is the most important thing. That is meeting the pure devotees at the holy place. How can you take the benefit of visiting the holy places if you neglect seeing the sadhus, seeing the great, great devotees residing in those holy places? So Mahaprabhu came for Gaya not for the rituals, not for the empty ablutions for his father. No. He came to see his Gurudev and to start manifesting his ecstatic emotions of devotion. But from whom? He's showing us from whom it's all coming. You know, from Sri Guru. If we go to Vrindavan, we'll see what? Stones, dust, monkeys, stool. No, that's our vision. Rough vision. But Mahaprabhu came not for that. He came to see his Guru and to become manifesting the ecstatic emotion. That's what he came for. So there are four types of buddhi, four types of intelligence described in this verse. Yeah? So that kind of intelligence, materialistic intelligence, which forces those materialistic people just to see the dust, you know, derive some material benefit from visiting, you know, for the mother, father, sister, brother, like this. So this is called tirtha buddhi. Tirtha buddhi means materialistic mentality of material benefit derived from visiting the holy tirthas, holy places. Yeah? Just touching the dust, you know. But how about sadhu sangha? No, no question. They cannot see, because they cannot see spiritual benefit in their lifetime. So actually this verse is very nice. It describes 4 types of buddhis, 4 types of intelligence. Atma buddhi, yasyatma buddhi kuna petri dhatuke, So you take this material body, the combination of kapha, pitta, vayu, 3 elements as the self. This is called atma buddhi, means bodily intelligence. So then swadhi or swabuddhi means wife, husband, father, mother, sister, brother, all those things. Kin, home and kin. Can you turn that off? Thank you. So, yeah, before class, you turn off the sounds, please. So, yeah, so these are mine. Okay, aham mameti means I, means my body, and mine means my mother, father, sister, brother, all this mentality everywhere in the world. So this is called swadhi. Swabuddhi. That means Atma Buddhi, first one. Swabuddhi, second one. Then Ija Buddhi. My land is worshipable. I'm patriot of my land, which is just combination of stone, dust, and some materialistic traditions. This is mine. But our land is what? Golok Vrindavan. Because our path lies towards our spiritual realization of our, what's that called? Vastu Siddhi means Swarupa Siddhi, and Vastu Siddhi means revelation of our spiritual form and revelation of our eternal service. That's where our path lies, actually, as a spirit soul. Otherwise, we'll be suffering under these 4 types of mentality. And the 4th one we mentioned in the beginning, that is Tirtha Buddhi. So, Atma Buddhi, Swabuddhi, Ija Buddhi, Tirtha Buddhi. Means worshipping your body as the self, worshipping your kin and kin as your relatives, say belonging to you. Then Tirtha Buddhi. Ija Buddhi means my land is worshipable. And then Ija Buddhi, the intelligence, saying that you have to visit the holy places for some material benefits. That's it. So such people, here it is said in the Bhagavatam, such people are no better than Go Karaha, as asses or cows. Go Karaha means a cow or a donkey, no better than a cow or a donkey, because cows like taking bath, and donkeys are saying that this is mine and I've done this and so many things. Okay, so therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when he came to Gaya, he said, Prabhukaya Gaya Yatra Sapala Amar Yatra Kshane Dekilana Charana Tumar. The Lord said, my journey to Gaya has become successful the moment I was able to see your lotus feet. Before that, the journey is not successful. Before, my journey was not successful. After I saw your lotus feet, my journey was successful. So, Tite Pinda, Mahaprabhu said, Tite Pinda Dile Se Nistare Pitrigana, Se Hayare Pinda Daya, Tare Se Jana. Tomaras Dikele Matra Kori Pitrigan, Se Ikshane Sarvabanda Paya Vimochan. If one offers oblations to the forefathers in a holy place, then the forefathers are delivered. But one delivers only he to whom the oblation was offered. By seeing you, however, millions of forefathers are immediately freed from material bondage by seeing you. So we sang this song, deliberately asked you to sing E Barokaruna Koro. Why? Because in that song, E Barokaruna Koro, there are words, Yes, there are words. Gangara Parasha Hoile Paschate Pavan Darshane Pavitra Koro Ei Tomara Guna. Gangara Parasha Hoile Paschate Pavan Darshana Pavitra Kore Ei Tomara Gun. Only after touching the Ganga does one become purified, but simply by seeing you, O Vaishnava Thakur, one is purified. So no need to touch even. To touch Vaishnava, very good. Vaishnava is so humble they will never give. Or sometimes they, if there are acharyas, okay, they can give. But normally they're feeling very awkward when somebody wants to touch. Once I touched the lotus feet of one acharya recently, I'll tell you the name after, but he told me, don't, don't you dare, doing yes, no. But he's acharya of a mat, like told me strongly, Our Gurudev so liberal, everybody could touch everybody, children, ladies. Oh my God, you cannot imagine. I remember, last moments of the second Russian festival, Moscow. Was a public program in the central Moscow, and Gurudev was leaving, for some rest and departing. So he was in a car, and the devotees were just, not letting him go. Just everyone was standing around the car, and Gurudev was holding everyone's hand like this. My hand he was holding, like ladies' hands like this, devotees' hands like. Imagine the level of mercy, the samskara. But actually, touching is no need of touching. This song says, only by seeing you're purified. Not only you, all of your generations, like at least several generations, are really, really pure. Not purified means liberated, but after some time, when you become even beginning devotee, then 7 generations liberated. Prahlad Maharaj heard from Nrsimhadev. Okay, so therefore, holy places are not equal to you. Mahaprabhu continued to glorify his Gurudev. So today we're speaking how Mahaprabhu accepted Sri Guru. We're speaking about this. So therefore, holy places are not equal to you, for you purify even the holy places. So Vaishnavas, they come to the holy places, and the holy places, they suffer because people come with the sins, So many sins are washed into the waters of that same Ganga Yamuna. But Vaishnavas, they purify even the holy places from those human sins. Samsara samudra hoite udharala more eyame deha samarpilana tamare. Here Mahaprabhu is exemplifying how one has to approach Sri Guru. What to tell? What should you tell Sri Guru when you approach him? Please deliver me from the ocean of material existence. I surrender myself unto you. Mahaprabhu said himself, Lord himself, in the form of a devotee, exemplified that. So, I beg that you make me drink the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. Krishna pada padmeram ritarasapan amare karao tume e chahidan. Mahaprabhu said. Isvara Puri then said, Balina Isvara Puri Shunara Pandita Tumiya Ishwaramsha Jamilo Nishtita. Isvara Puri then said, listen, dear Pandit, I know without doubt that you are an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Finally, he recognized. He was thinking in Navadvip, but when he saw him before, we just discussed that. But in Gaya, when the meeting took place, then he recognized him. I can see him. But Yogamaya wanted, no, you have to become Guru of the Supreme Personality of God. So that was the, mission he had to perform. Can anyone other than an expansion of the Supreme Lord possess the extraordinary learning and characteristics that you have? He was able, even being a Pandit, able to make black white and white black, as we were discussing in many, many cases. And Isvara Puri shared his experience. He said, Yena aji ame shubha swapna dekilana sankshate taharapal pala e pailana. I had an auspicious dream last night, and today I've obtained the fruits of that dream. So probably you've noticed in our devotional life, if we say a very, very good dream, then a very good event will happen. Yeah? You notice? No? If some, troublesome dream you see, then next day you'll have some type of test, have to undergo. So first it happens there, then it comes on the surface. So I saw the dream. That was a prophetic dream. Oh, Pandit, I'm telling you the truth. I'm feeling great ecstasy every moment. since I've seen you. Isvara Puripad is saying, from the time I saw you in Nadia, my heart has had no other attraction. He recognizes, Remember his feelings. We were discussing how Nimai Pandit invited Ishvara Puripad while he was in Navadvip, before he became his disciple. And he took prasad from Shachimata, and they were discussing about Krishna. And Nimai was coming every day to hear the book, Krishna Kathamrita. He was writing, Ishvara Puripad. So he was reading it to Gadadhar Pandit in the house of Gopinathacharya. Yes. So from the time I saw you in Nadia, my heart has had no other attraction. I'm speaking the truth, nothing else. When I see you, I feel the happiness of seeing Krishna. He knows. Because he's eternal guru. I think he's expansion of Sandipani Muni. Something. So hearing his beloved Isvara Puri's truthful words, the Lord smiled and said, it's my great fortune. In this way, the two exchanged many other pleasing words, which will be described in the future by Veda Vyas. So Vrindavan Das Thakur is an expansion of Veda Vyas, but he's saying, okay, now cannot say that. So in the future, it will be discussed by Veda Vyas. So that was the first meeting. After that, Mahaprabhu went on with his ablutions and visiting holy places and worship. And then later they met again. There was a very mysterious moment. Mahaprabhu was waiting for his Gurudev, and he was cooking some preparation for him. So the Lord then took leave and went to different oblations for his forefathers. And okay, it's described where he went and offered Shraddha here and there, and then visited places, etc., etc. So then finally, the second meeting took place. Took some rest after visiting those places and sat down to cook spontaneously. Sat down to cook. And as soon as the Lord finished cooking, Isvara Puripad arrived by Yogamaya. He couldn't even recognize why, but anyway, he knew, like Yogamaya arranged everything. So the second meeting took place. Isvara Puri's head was rolling back and forth like this, in ecstasy. Ecstatic love as he arrived there, chanting the name of Krishna, 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 like this. So, Guru Tattva makes you mad, Guru Tattva makes you completely mad. So many stories how the first meeting of Guru and disciple, like perfect Guru and perfect disciple, took place. And I think this is the top story, how it happened. Because the Lord himself, Mahaprabhu, met his Guru. So his head was rolling back and forth in ecstatic love, and he was chanting the names of Krishna. When you chant the name of Krishna, then it's a famous verse, and sadly I cannot tell, from the 11th canto. But there it's explained that when one chants, one is completely oblivious of what's going on. Lokabhaya doesn't at all notice what's going on around people, what they're thinking. One cannot really think about that, and he's experiencing ecstatic manifestations. So it's described in that verse. So that is all about what Isvara Puripad was feeling at that moment. So the Lord immediately left the kitchen, and after respectfully offered obeisances, he seated Isvara Puri comfortably. Isvara Puri smiled and said, Sunana Pandita Bhalai Samaye Hailana Upanita. Listen, O Pandit, I see I've come at the right time. They know what time is right. Prabhubale Yabihaila Bhagyara Udaya Ei Anna Bhiksha Ajikara Mahashaya. The Lord replied, it will be my good fortune if you accept your meal here today. Isvara Puri smiled and said, then what will you eat? The Lord replied, I will cook again. Isvara Puri then said, what is the need for cooking again? Divide whatever you have in 2 portions. The Lord smiled and said, "If you really want to please me, then eat whatever I've cooked." It's a good example for us. You give to Guru unconditionally. Unconditionally, everything you give. Not like that bogus disciple. Bogus disciple received, it's a funny story, received an order from his Guru, go to the market and buy 5 rasagulas. 5 rasagulas. And bring. For Bog, for Thakurji. So he went to the market, bought 5 rasagulas and was carrying back and thinking, actually, I'm about to give it to Srila Gurudev. It's very serious. So I have to taste myself, whether it's suitable or not. Because maybe he remembered Shabari. Shabari was perfected soul, So, okay, 1 rasagula less. Okay. And then 4 rasagulas left. And he's thinking, actually, my Gurudev gives me half anyway at the end. So let me take my half, 2 rasagulas minus. 2 rasagulas left. And 2, actually, not very auspicious number, So it's 1 rasagula brought. Not like this, not like this. He said, I will cook for myself separately. I gave everything for you. It's a seemingly small thing, but it shows, unconditional surrender. I'll cook again within a moment. I'll take your meal without hesitation. You'll take your meal without hesitation. The Lord then gave his meal to Isvara Puri and happily went to cook for himself. Isvara Puri's mind never deviated from the lotus feet of Krishna. Therefore, the Lord bestowed such mercy on him. The Lord served Isvara Puri with his hands, and Isvara Puri thus ate in great ecstasy. At that time, Ramadevi, the goddess of fortune, quickly cooked for the Lord while remaining unseen by all. The Lord seemingly went to doing something, but it was ready in a moment. Ramadevi, Lakshmi, manifested it. Then after the Lord first fed Isvara Puri, he happily ate himself. Now, dear friends, let's listen to the benediction Vrindavan Das Thakur is giving. Isvara Puri Rasange Prabhu Rabojana Iharas Shravane Mile Krishna Premadana. One who hears about the Lord taking his meal with Isvara Puri will achieve the wealth of love of Krishna. Shri Isvara Puri Pada Ki Jai. So, then, the Lord with his own hands then smeared sandalwood paste on the body of Isvara Puri. So sandalwood paste cools a lot. It was quite hot already. Who has the ability to describe the Lord's love for Ishvara Puri Pad? The Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya personally visited the birthplace of Ishvara Puri. And he took the dust of the holy place of his Gurudev's birth into, I think, some part of his cloth, like this, and brought. And he was worshipping that. So when we visited Srila Gurudev's holy place of appearance, the village of Tiwaripur in Bihar, you were there, right? Yeah, so we also were doing that, but then Didi told us, no, return everything back. That is like gold, Don't carry around Guru Maharaj's holy earth place of from the place of his birth. Anyway, Mahaprabhu exemplified that the place of Shri Guru's birth is also worshipable. Prabhupali Kumarahate Namaskara Shri Ishvara Puri Re Grame Avatar. The Lord said, I offer obeisances to the village of Kumarahata where Shri Ishvara Puri appeared. So he cried profusely at that place and spoke nothing other than the name Ishvara Puri, Ishvara Puri, Ishvara Puri. The Lord took some dust from the birthplace and tied into his cloth. The dust from the birthplace of Ishvara Puri is my life, wealth, and living force, the Lord proclaimed. The Lord exhibited such affection for Ishvara Puri because he takes pleasure in increasing the glories of his devotees. The Lord said, I came to Gaya to offer oblations to my forefathers. Now that I have seen Ishvara Puri, my journey has become successful. Giving oblations to forefathers was only a pretext, actually, to meet Sri Guru. So and now the third meeting. the third meeting. On another day, the Lord went privately to Isvara Puri in sweet words requested him for initiation. So we were hearing yesterday, day before also, that the four first limbs of devotion out of 64 dedicated to Sri Guru. The first one is Sri Guru Padashraya, means accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru. That happens before Diksha and Shiksha, before formal initiation and before asking and receiving instructions. You take Sri Guru into your heart like this. So you can see very vividly from the first two meetings that Mahaprabhu was completely sure that is my Gurudev. Okay, that is. And then formal initiation. So on the third meeting only, he requested for formal initiation. Puri bali mantra va baliya kona katha prana ami dite pari tomare sarvata. Isvara Puri replied, what to speak of mantra, I can give my life to you. He couldn't understand who is asking for initiation. So as he recognized himself, then in order to instruct everyone, the Lord accepted the 10-syllable mantra from Isvara Puripat. 10 syllable? We have 18 syllable, those who have Diksha. But that was 10 syllable, having only the name of Gopijana Vallabha, I think. 10. So the Lord then circumambulated Isvara Puri and said, I fully surrender myself unto you. Please glance mercifully on me, so that I may float in the ocean of love of Krishna. Hearing the words of the Lord, Isvara Puri embraced him. The bodies of both became soaked with their tears and agitated due to ecstatic love. In this way, while bestowing mercy on Isvara Puri, Sri Gaurahari remained in Gaya for a few days. As the time became ripe for the Lord to reveal himself, his loving devotional sentiments increased day by day. So the ecstasy was growing and growing and overflowing. So when he came back to Navadvip, those ecstatic pastimes started. We'll hear starting tomorrow. One day the Lord sat down in a solitary place and began to meditate on the 10-syllable mantra. So now listen what became. Dhyananandi Mahaprabhu Bhaya Prakashiya Karite Lagila Prabhu Rodana Dakiya. After some time, when the Lord regained his external consciousness, he began to shed tears and call for Krishna. Krishna re bapare mora jivana Shri Hari konadi ke gela more pranakari chure. Bapa, a very, very loving word. Sometimes it means son, sometimes it means father, sometimes some more meanings. My dear Krishna, O Father, O Hari, my life and soul, where did you go after stealing my heart? Who is shouting? Who is exclaiming these words? Radhika. Radhika. So, Niduvana Nagari, we sang today. Niduvana Nagari Mohitamana. So this is Gaurahari. Niduvana Nagari, the heroine of Niduvan. There's Sevakunj and Niduvan, two holy gardens in Vrindavan. And Niduvan is the place where the divine couple takes rest after the tiring nocturnal pastimes. So Radhika is therefore Niduvana Nagari. So Mohita Manasa, his mind is absorbed in Niduvana Nagari's mood. So whatever Mahaprabhu is saying is all actually said by Radhika. Radhika is saying that about Krishna. So he's feeling great, great attraction for Krishna in the mood of Radhika, always, always. I saw my Lord, but now where has he gone? So in the ecstasy of separation with Krishna, he started crying like Radhika. What's that? Virohi, what's that? Samohini, Vimohini. Yes. Radhika feeling separation. So the Lord then began to cry and recite various verses. We need to study verses, boys, girls. Why? Because ultimately that they're supporting our bhajan on the level of sadhana, but on the level of siddha also. Mahaprabhu was hearing the verses being quoted by Swarup Damodara Raya Ramananda, means Lalita and Vishaka. They were supporting Mahaprabhu's moods always. By quoting appropriate verses, they could feel very nicely what verses to quote from the exalted poets, Chandidas, Vigyapati, Jayadev Goswami, Srimad Bhagavatam, all those. So the Lord was absorbed in sentiments of ecstatic love and his entire body was covered with dust. He loudly cried out of distress, "Where did you go? Leaving me behind, my dear child Krishna." Father, he was saying, they were saying child, Bapa, same word, Bapa. Artanadakari Prabhu, Dake Uchai Kotha Gela, Bapa Krishna, Chadiya Mohari, Bapa Krishna. Where have you gone? That Lord who was previously most grave now became greatly agitated in ecstatic love. While being agitated in ecstatic love, also he was grave sometimes. But then it was all exploding. He rolled on the ground, cried loudly, and floated in the ocean of devotional feelings of separation. Then, after some time, Nimai's students came and pacified him with great care. They were completely shocked. What is going on with our teacher? They could not understand. The Lord said to them, "You all go back to Navadvip. I will not return to material life." Finished. I must go to see Mathura, where I'll see the Lord of my life, Sri Krishna Chandra. Mathura dekite moi chalimo swarvata prananatha mora Krishna Chandra panayata. The students tried in various ways to solace the Lord and keep him peaceful. Bhakti rase magna hai vaikunthera pati chitte swastya na payena rahibena kati. The Lord of Vaikuntha, however, was absorbed in devotional sentiments and his heart was agitated. So how could he remain peaceful? No question of peacefulness. You want peace? By this process, you'll lose peace. You'll become pagal, you know. So, and the Lord also said, Kibamatra Gosani, Bal Japita Japati Garile Pagal. Oh Gosani, what mantra have you given to me? I have become fully mad. Pagal, become Pagal. So early one morning, without informing anyone, the Lord departed from Mathura in ecstatic love. Krishna re bapare mora pai mukathai, ei mata bole ena Gaura rai. As Lord Gaura walked, he called out, "Oh Krishna, oh my dear child, where can I find you?" After traveling a while, the Lord heard a voice from the sky say, demigods said, Ekhane Mathura na yaibe dvijamani, O crest jewel of the Brahmanas, don't go to Mathura now. Mahaprabhu was on the way to Mathura, but the voice from the sky, Anirdesh means, how to say, an embodied voice, said from the sky very loudly, Yaibara karayache, yaibata khane navadvipe nija grihe chala ekane. You will go when the appropriate time comes. Now you should return to your house in Navadvip. You are the Lord of Vaikuntha. You have appeared along with your associates to deliver the people of the world. When you distribute the wealth of ecstatic love, your kirtan will inundate innumerable universes. You have advented to distribute that love which Sri Ananta Shesh always glorifies and which Balaram, Shiva, and the four Kumaras are overwhelmed with. This fact is known to you. We are your servants, demigods continued. Therefore we offer this reminder at your lotus feet. O Lord, you are the supremely independent. Whatever you desire cannot be checked by anyone. Therefore, O Lord, please return home. You will see the city of Mathura later. So, by the will of Yogamaya, demigod stopped Mahaprabhu. But he went to Mathura, Vrindavan, and spent there only 2 weeks. 2 weeks, no more than that. Because in Vrindavan, his Krishnatva means his qualities of Krishna started manifesting naturally. But his task of coming like Mahaprabhu was not to manifest his Krishnatva, his qualities of Krishna. No. Qualities of Radharani's love he had to exhibit in his body, in his mood. So therefore he took the bodily hue and the moods of Srimati Radharani. It's Bhava and Kanti. And he became as the Golden Lord. So after hearing the voice from the sky, Lord Gaurasundar was satisfied and stopped his journey. The Lord returned to his room in Gaya, and they took his students back to Navadvip, where he revealed the devotional service of Krishna. After the Lord arrived in Navadvip, his loving sentiments began to increase day by day. So, the topics of Adikanda are thus completed. Please hear now the topics of Madhyakanda. The author, Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, is saying. And now listen to the benedictions for the hearers by Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author. Yeva Shune Ishvarera Gaya Vijaya Gaura Chandra Prabhu Taryam Miliba Hridaya. One who hears about the Lord's visit to Gaya will see Lord Gaura Chandra in his heart. So if you hear with faith, then you will definitely see. Krishna Yasha Shunite Se Krishna Sangapai Ishvarera Sangitara Kabutyaganai. One who hears glorification of Krishna directly associates with Krishna and is never separated from him. So whatever else is described, I remembered that is from Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu said to his Gurudev, "O Kiba mantra Gosani, O Gosai Goswami, what mantra have you given to me? No, I've become completely mad." So when he started chanting the mantra, he saw the blackish complexioned boy, and he wanted to embrace him, but the boy was running away, and again he wanted to embrace again. So that's more described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But you know, Vrindavan Das Thakur is a disciple of Lord Nityananda, direct disciple of Lord Nityananda. And as soon as he remembers Nityananda, he starts glorifying him and cannot stop. So here at the end also he mentioned, at once he remembered his Gurudev Nityananda and switches to glorifying Nityananda. So at the end of this chapter, let's hear the glories of Nityananda from Vrindavan Das Thakur. Lord Nityananda has inspired me from within my heart to describe some of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in this book. Only by his mercy I am able to write these narrations concerning Lord Chaitanya, for I have no independence whatsoever. Whatever I described is only by the direction of Gaura Chandra, just as a puppet dances only by the direction of the puppeteer. There is no beginning or end to the topics of Lord Chaitanya, yet somehow or other I am trying to glorify him. As there is no end to the vast sky, a bird only flies as far as it's able. Comparing himself to such a bird. In similar way, there is no end to the glories of Lord Chaitanya, so a person can glorify him only as far as he is empowered. So, Sarva Vaishnavirapai Mora Namaskar Ite Aparada Kichu Nahuka Amar. I offer respectful obeisance unto the feet of all the Vaishnavas so that they may not consider my offenses. Anyone who wants to cross the material ocean and merge in the ocean of devotional service must worship the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Since Sri Gaurasundar is the Lord of my Lord, I constantly hope he will bestow mercy on me. Someone says Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram, and another says he is most beloved devotee of Sri Chaitanya, and someone else says he is a powerful personality, and another says we don't understand who he is. Difficult to understand Nityananda. Sometimes he looks like a madman, acts like a madman, walks completely naked with all of his clothes. There's a turban, on his head. And then Mahaprabhu, gently covers him with some cloth, like this. And he shouts to the drunkards, give me wine, like this. Yes. He shouts to the devotees, give me wine, give me wine. Finally, they bring him. Oh, when Mahaprabhu was in his mood, I think, devotees brought him, okay, he could not be appeased, so they brought him some Ganga water. So he drank everything, 20 liters, whatever. Yeah, so that's the wine. So you are the source of the wine. What kind of wine can we give you? So someone may consider Nityananda a sannyasi. Someone may consider him a devotee. He was a sannyasi, but that he broke his danda and took 2 wives. Nityananda is free. Sadhakas must not imitate. Must not imitate. So we're sadhakas, we're not Nityananda. Nityananda is the Lord. So someone may consider him a devotee, someone may consider him a jnani. They may say whatever they like. Even if Nityananda is the most insignificant servant of Lord Chaitanya, I would still keep his lotus feet in my heart. I therefore kick the head of any sinful person who disregards the glories of Lord Nityananda and dares to criticize him. So that is about Guru, because Nityananda is Guru. All glories to Lord Nityananda, whose life and soul is Lord Chaitanya. Let me take shelter at your lotus feet. As your servant, let me sing the glories of Lord Chaitanya. Let me accompany you, birth after birth. One who hears the topics of Lord Chaitanya described in Adikanda will certainly attain his lotus feet. After taking leave of Isvara Puri, Lord Gauranga returned home. Everyone in Navadvip was happy to hear about the Lord's arrival. They felt as if their life air had returned to their body. So we'll hear tomorrow what happened when Mahaprabhu returned. Still Gauranga returned to Navadvip. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jana Vrindavana Dasa Tachupada Yugadan. Accepting Shri Chaitanya Nityananda, Prabhu as my life and soul, I Vrindavan Das sing the glories of the lotus feet. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavata Ki Jai, Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Shri Isvara Puri Pad Ki Jai, Shri Gaya Dhama Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. So today we'll do Arati in the evening, but maybe last Kirtan we'll still sing for Mahaprabhu. You have your guitar, so I don't know if it will fit, but we'll sing Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam song. If you can pick up the chords, you can try. Vande Vishwambara, say the page. Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam. Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam. Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam. Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam. Kandita Kali Yuga Janamalam Samalam. Kandita Kali Yuga Janamala Samalam. Kandita Kali Yuga Janamala Samalam. Kandita Kali Yuga Janamala Samalam. Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam. Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam. Saurabhakarshita Nija Janamadupam. Saurabhakarshita Nija Janamadupam. Karuna Kandita Viraha Vitapam. Karuna Kandita Viraha Vitapam. Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam. Vande Chita Hridgata Maya Timiram Nashita Hridgata Maya Timiram Varanija Kantya Jagatam Achiram Viranija Kantya Jagatam Achiram Pande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam Pande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam Satata Virachita Nirupama Shobham Satata Virachita Nirupama Shobham Radha Mohana Kalpita Vilobham Radha Mohana Kalpita Vilobham Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam Kandita Kali Yuga Janamala Samalam Kandita Kali Yuga Janamala Samalam Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam Vande Vishwambara Pada Kamalam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Nitai Gora Nitai Gora Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Shri Sachinandan Gaura Hari ki jai Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai Shri Isvara Puri Pad ki jai Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay, Arati now. stand up for Arati, and then
Really, she would love to do 5 minutes Mahamantra.
oh,
with her-
Mahamantra,
with her
okay,
guitar
okay, okay.
Before Aarti.
Okay. Then Megan will sing. Oh, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. There will be more in Watford.
Yeah, I'm away for the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hey, give this mic to. Sit closer. With Muranga or without?
It's very soft. Maybe without quarters too. It's very soft. It's like a lullaby melody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Ho! Radhe Radhe. Okay, thank you so much, all devotees in London. Very, very wonderful experience. What's that? Camden Town, capital of Sankirtan. Very happy to have been with you and inviting you to Watford for 3 days. And then the programs will be in Groombridge, East Sussex, and places around. So I think there will be 5 more programs there, total 7 days, but 5 programs. So ending the 4th of February. So Hare Krishna waiting for you. And now be ready for Arti. Gaur Premanande.